Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. Hey, Dr. Jenny, good morning.
Good morning.
Guess what?
What?
We're back in studio.
My favorite place to be.
Welcome back to the Spiritual Grind, everybody. I hope you've been enjoying the podcast and understanding, or helping get a better understanding of a spiritual life and the daily things that we all go through. And maybe that some little tip here and there will help out.
For sure.
For sure. For sure, man.
Oh, show.
So I got asked this question yesterday, and I've been thinking about it. I got asked yesterday, what do we use to assist in changing our energy when we have a little bit of a human day going on? What do we do? How do we change our energy for the day? Did you drop something?
Well, kind of. I was picking up this big, beautiful ball to hold.
Oh,
and
well, that's a good example, actually, of the asked question I got asked yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think we use a lot of different modalities and techniques and tools.
Yeah.
It just depends. And I don't think that they're static and consistent. It changes.
I agree. I think there's multiple things that I know I do that can help keep me out of a human moment and more of a spiritually guided one. Like, for example, so a lot of times I'll just sit and dwell and figure out, why is this in my reality? And that kind of makes you feel better. And sometimes I used to have this habit, I would go work in the shop.
Yeah.
I would just take myself out of the situation and go do something different. I personally find a whole lot of pleasure out of getting deep into the moment of just creating something.
Right.
To where it kind of takes your human mind away.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's the whole point of it is just aligning with that frequency, that higher vibrational frequency that we, I guess, in human terms say.
What did you say? Higher vibration, what?
Frequency.
Frequency. Higher vibration frequency.
That's the point of it. And so when we say, finding your highest joy in every moment, big or small, it doesn't matter what it is. Whatever works for you.
What brought the question up is I've been teaching the Power of Thought School.
Yeah. And
I have quite a few people that have really attended there all the 16 weeks so far. Right. I got 1 week left. But she came to me and she's like, you always seem to be in a good mood. I'm like, well, that's not really true. That's just your perception. But I do stay pretty positive and pretty higher vibrational energy a lot of the time. There are times that things affect me. And she said, well, what do you do to get over it? And I told her, I'm like, I try to find out, why is it bugging me? And then I'll try to change the energy behind it, or the definition of it, of why is it bugging me and why is it in my reality, and realize that, like you have taught me many, many times, this life is not happening to me, it's happening for me. I just got to figure out what is it that I have to see.
Right. I mean, life has no meaning until we define it and give it meaning.
Yes.
That's the truth about it.
Yes.
And I teach that often. It's you. and your beliefs and your patterns and your programs that create a perspective that then creates a meaning of a situation, circumstance, event, or person.
Yeah.
And if you're not enjoying where you're at, what you're doing, who you're interacting with, what beliefs do you have in place that are creating the perspective about where you're at and what you're doing, or preventing you from changing your reality? And we just had this conversation. I was sitting in contemplation before a podcast to get some clear understanding for myself.
Yeah.
Because I find myself today not really wanting to go to work and being a little agitated about that and being kind of bored with the reality that I've created.
Okay.
And so I was contemplating what purpose is it serving? What am I not seeing? How am I viewing it? What perspective am I coming from? Or what beliefs do I have in place that may be preventing me from moving into and aligning with a reality that I more prefer?
Okay.
Those are the questions that I ask myself. And so I think one of the keys is becoming aware that you're feeling something that you don't necessarily prefer.
Yeah.
Deciding that you want to feel something different, and then digging around in it and finding out what perspective am I viewing it from, which consists of looking at your beliefs, looking at your definitions, and seeing, is it because I have a definition that is causing me to see it in one way versus another? Is it that it is a contractual kind of agreement with my higher self that I'm going to experience this fully until I get some concept or I get whatever was intended for me to get out of it? And am I allowing myself to see that? Just really exploring what the purpose is.
That's kind of the way I do it too. But, I kind of look at it as a Twinkie pack.
Oh, God. Okay, do tell.
You open the package and you grab the right Twinkie or the left Twinkie first.
Okay.
And you have, like you said, you make yourself aware. Okay, so I have these two Twinkies in front of me. One of them is going to make me very happy. One of them is just going to be okay. And now I'm going to figure out which Twinkie it is. Is it the right Twinkie or the left Twinkie? Because, they're made in two different factories and then shipped and put together.
No, they're not.
Uh-huh. The right Twinkie is always made different.
No.
Uh-huh. You don't believe me? Just ask me and I'll tell you. But identifying what is it in the Twinkies, and each one of those Twinkies that can change my day into a better feeling place. And this is what I told her was...
No wonder your pockets look so full all the time. You carry around Twinkies.
Yeah, every now and then I get a triple pack of Twinkies.
What?
You get the bonus Twinkie in the pack, You buy two, get one free. But that's what I described to her is you have to take it from a different perspective and understand that, like you said, be aware of what it is, understand that this life is happening for us, not to us, and then stop and say, which Twinkie am I going to grab today? Do I want to grab the left Twinkie where I'm going to stay dwelling in it and continue to feel like my vibrational level is not in a good place? Or am I going to grab the right Twinkie and change my perspective?
Or am I going to grab no Twinkies?
Well,
That's
no Twinkies are open in front of you. That's not an option.
Oh, it most definitely is an option. I don't like Twinkies. So I would grab neither Twinkie. They're gross.
I just think it's funny.
And they feel funny in your mouth.
They used to be a lot better. They used to have a lot more cream in them. They were bigger. And then they got chintzy and made them smaller. And
I don't know. It's just weird. Like the top coat of a Twinkie is like soft and weird. And then this weird chewy sponginess with this, that cream is hideous. Like, it's just gross. Twinkies are gross. And they come up with the idea of frying them. That makes it even worse. A fried Twinkie?
Deep fried Twinkies. Yeah, they used to do that at the Texas State Fair a lot.
Ooh, it's like a big sponge for just grease.
Yeah.
Just turn the grease up and drink it. Ugh.
So what I mean by looking at a pack of Twinkie is now you have a choice. You decided to open the Twinkie package. That is being aware.
I like Twix better.
Twix. Do you like to ride Twix or left Twix?
Depends on the day.
It's a choice.
It is always a choice.
You know, those are made in different factories too.
So I hear.
That's what they said on the commercial, and I believe them.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we open the Twinkie package, that is a kind of a sign of, for me, of becoming aware of, hey, there's something ain't right in this thought or in this day or in this energy. And so I opened the Twinkies, and now I have a choice. Do I want to dive into the history of it and kind of figure out what it is and maybe keep yourself in that vibrational spot, which sometimes we need to do that? Or do I grab the right Twinkie and I just change the way it makes me feel for this moment until I can go eat the left Twinkie? Crickets.
Okay, that's your process.
Yeah. I was just kind of giving an analogy of one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And so what is it that, and the conversation went to, once you identify it, what do you do with it? Where do you go? How do you change to make yourself feel better?
I mean, it just depends on the person. It depends really on what your tool bag has in it that is your process.
Okay.
I can give you what I do, which kind of already did, but it's very individualized process. If in fact you need a process,
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you really? I guess what a rabbit hole is the fact that you think you need a process is in fact a belief in and of itself.
Agreed.
I know you love that statement. In and of itself, baby, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may pick up your copy of In and of Itself at any local library newsstand or Barnes and Noble.
I think it's Books A Million now.
Books and Me. No, it's still both.
They have two different stores.
Yeah, that's two different stores.
Oh, wow. I thought that one bought the other one out, and I thought Barnes and Noble was no longer.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
Oh, I didn't realize it was two different stores.
Maybe. I mean, maybe I don't know, but
maybe I don't know.
maybe we just don't know.
Maybe we just don't know.
Maybe we're in the I don't know dimension. But you're right. The having to have a process is a belief in itself.
Right. Because
So what do you do
there
next?
are situations for me, for example, on certain topics, I don't have to have a process. I just decide I want it to be different, and
Poof, it's different.
it is. It just happens in the blink of an eye because I've put no definition on that it's got to take a long time, or that I've got to try to do something, or that I've got to have some, 10, 12 step sequence of events to make it okay for it to be something different. So having the process in and of itself is a perspective, a viewpoint, a belief. But first you got to identify what the thing is. What is
Right.
the thing?
That's what
And
she
if
said.
it's just changing your outlook so that you are in a better mood, then the formula is very easy. You are finding things along your path that make you feel better.
Yeah.
Really. It's just really black and white. And whatever those things are, if it's sitting here holding a big, beautiful sphere of quartz, then do that for however long it feels good.
Yeah.
If it's drinking a nice cup of coffee with lots of chocolate in it, do that.
Yeah.
If it's sitting reading, or if it's going on a walk, or going back to bed, for God's sakes, do those things. Meditation, there's many, many, many techniques and modalities out there. You just have to figure out what is aligned with your frequency and what feels good to you.
Yeah. I agree.
No one person can tell you, not even me who's the doctor. Ooh, ah.
Ooh.
I can't tell you what works for you. I can't say, okay, go home and do this and that and spit spots, you'll be fixed.
Right.
And I think sometimes society gives doctors too much clout and goes to them as though they're some Wizard of Oz guru that is all knowing, and then follows to a T something the doctor said, no matter what kind of doctor it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's modern medicine, chiropractic, metaphysicians such as myself, you go to the doctor thinking they're going to know exactly what your blueprint of frequency needs. You follow it to a T, only to find out that it doesn't work, or it doesn't work like you thought it would, or it's just not quite there. I mean, that's because nobody knows you better than you. How long have you been with you?
All my life.
Right.
Yeah.
That doctor may have only been with you, part of your life, 30 minutes, one time a year. And so, I mean, you got to figure it out. You got to try. The thing is, don't be afraid to try different things.
Right.
You're not going to know if the shoe fits if you don't go to the store and try them on. And you're not going to know which shoe you like based on how it feels, what it looks like, if you don't go try it on and look at it on your foot.
Right.
Same thing with the techniques of how to deal with the emotional guidance system and how to get yourself from where you are to where you want to go.
Right. You see, one of the things that I teach in the Power Thought School, and why she's bringing this question up, is I taught them that positive mindset is a choice. And being a positive within everything is a choice to do. And she was like, how do you just choose to be positive? Well, it's not so much that you choose to be positive. It's just that you choose to become aware of what it is, to make a different way. It's like more of a choice to accept it the way it is, and then go into your own process by which to do it. And you also brought up another good topic in that same thing, because I teach this constantly, because everybody's been taught all their life that going to the doctor they have all the answers.
Right.
And, they are the law, what they say is the truth. And nobody ever stops to think for 1 minute that this doctor has been taught out of books that somebody wrote.
Right. And it's not the doctor that's treating you that wrote the book.
Right. And things change and evolve. And healthcare is an option. It is a choice to understand and follow what your doctor says, or follow what your body says, or whatever that is. But you said it once one day, and it kind of blew my mind. That's something I never thought of, was a medical textbook is just average. It's just about the averages of things and the chances of things that have happened and historical studies that they put into this textbook. It does not mean that it absolutely is this way.
Right. It's not the blueprint for every single human. It can't be. Right. Because every single human has a different blueprint, just as unique as the thumbprint.
Right. Right.
And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about spiritual practice,
right,
physical reactions to the different things that are in your bubble, Right. If I wash with this soap, I'm fine. If you wash with the same soap, you get a rash.
Right.
I mean, it's all so individualized.
It is, totally.
And that's, I think, where modern medicine misses it just a hair.
Because you're 100% right. And here's a good example that I see all the time.
That's why I said it.
Like everybody says, what is the perfect blood pressure? Like 110/70?
Yep. We just had this go on yesterday talking about Oh my God, her heart rate was 160. Oh my God, reading the machine and not coordinating with the body, the symptoms is so just not the way to go about it.
Right.
That machine could be malfunctioning. The person's normal heart rate could be 120.
Yeah.
That could be their norm.
Right.
And so if you're talking about a normal heart rate of 120, because that's how their body likes to be, then 160 is not a huge extravagant jump.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I can speak for myself that before I had my pacemaker, I was one of those people.
Yeah.
My metabolism was just extremely fast. I can eat even now anything I want to eat and never gain any weight.
Yeah.
And my heart rate, my body likes my heart rate to be faster, even with the pacemaker.
Yeah, no, right. Because he turned it up to like 1 something.
Right. We go to the doctor and I get checked and I'm like, you've got it set too low. I need more.
Right.
Because my body likes to live in the 100s.
Yeah.
I feel best when my heart rate is, between 100 and 105.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how fast my frequency vibrates.
I remember that. That's what your pacemaker is set as, 105.
When I'm set at like a robot, I feel like a robot. Like those robots.
When they plug you in and check all your mechanical.
When I'm set at like 60 or 70, man,
you have no energy. I've experienced that. I've seen that.
I have no energy. I don't do well.
Yeah.
Once I hit about 80, then I start feeling life come back into me. And then I feel best when I'm like at like I said, 104 to 110s. 110,
yeah.
108. I feel rejuvenated and I feel good.
That's this exact conversation is why I say what I said to this lady. But in your example, you're talking about the pacemaker. A lot of people don't understand that a pacemaker, when you have a pacemaker, it controls the pace of your heart. That's why it's called a pacemaker.
Right.
And it is designed to where it only raises your heart rate when it feels the motion of exercise or walking or moving. And so if you're sitting still and perhaps doing a bicycle on your tail, it's not going to raise your heart rate. Or when you like that time that you were walking up the stairs.
Wait. What are you doing with your tail? And why do you have a tail? What are you talking about?
What?
You said when you're doing a bicycle on your tail.
When you're sitting on your tail end, when you're sitting on your butt and you're working a bicycle, if it's not picking up that motion, it's not going to raise your heart rate.
I mean, it will, because the like this is going in a weird direction.
Anyway, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't really matter.
It will raise your heart rate, but you got to understand the component and how it works in the body. And I mean, it's not necessary to really get into that.
Yeah.
This is not a pacemaker podcast.
Yeah, that's not what it's about. But going back to it is I brought up the example about the averages and the choice and stuff, because when I was in NCAA, when I would go for my physical, my blood pressure was 92/60. That was my norm.
Yeah.
That was, for 18 freaking years.
Right.
That was my norm. And when the last couple of years, they're like, "Oh my God, you have low blood pressure," and I'm like,
based on statistical data of the American Heart Association.
Yeah,
OMG.
You have low blood pressure.
We've evaluated 10,001 patients, and the average mean of blood pressure is 120/80. That's the perfect number. And if you're anything under or over that, oh my God.
Here, take this pill.
Panic. Take this pill.
They sent me for a stress test like the last 3 or 4 years I was doing it. And I had to go to a stress test to make sure my blood pressure and heart rate would go up and all that other stuff. And the doctor's like, I don't understand what they're doing, because your records show that this is your
baseline.
This is your baseline. This is what you are. And you've been doing this for so many years. I haven't seen you fall on the field yet.
Right.
And so he was like, anyway, he freed me of it. But it brings to my reality the thought of, yes, when you identify those things in your life, doesn't mean it's a cookie cutter thing.
Right.
And because like I told her yesterday, I can sit here and tell you what I do, but if it's not your norm, It's not going to work for you.
So I guess my question would be, for the benefit of our listeners, how do you know if it's your norm?
Ooh, that's a good question. I just have I don't know what my norm is actually, because I
mean,
really
you know
changed
what your
things
norm
up.
is, but how do you know? If somebody says, like if you say, I'm experiencing this and I'm trying to figure out how I want to navigate that.
Right.
And somebody says, well, I do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
What do you do with that was the alien side of me.
Yeah, that was your TikTok.
You take those 3 things that this person has offered forth to you. How do you know?
Right. Yeah, and you really don't, because
No,
I know
I'm
I
asking you.
myself, I don't really know what my norm is on certain things, because I have,
Trying to take
what
you
I
in a
do,
certain direction.
what I do know is there are certain things that I don't like the way they feel.
Okay, that's exactly what I was digging
And
for.
so when I get to that point of something I don't like, I do not like to be angry anymore because of historical events. I've changed beliefs on things, and I don't like to get mad. And so I
Why?
look for, I'll experience the moment, and I'll try to raise my vibration off of anger,
Why?
because I just don't, it doesn't, anger is an emotion for me that can allow my human to kick in too much. And so I will be in the moment, and then I'm going to figure out a way to remove myself from that on the ladder by raising my vibration.
Because it doesn't feel good?
Because it doesn't feel good, right?
Okay.
And
that's what I was trying to get at. Is it goes, if all of this, all the topics fall back to using the emotional guidance system and how you feel.
And the ladder.
That's the important piece.
Doing the next.
So if somebody
best
says to
feel-good
you, well, I
thing.
tried this, this, and this, you take those 3 items and ask yourself, okay, when I think about doing this, how does it make me feel? Not much of anything. Well, okay, let's take the B, the second choice. How does that make me feel if I think about doing it? I hate that. That feels awful. Then
Yeah.
you know it's not that one.
Right.
If you take the third one and you check in with it same way, and you're like, I could see where that feels kind of maybe,
Yeah.
then go and try it and see if you get an actual, yeah, that feels good, I like it, or no, that don't fit either. Because if it's a maybe, then it's just simply because you can't really conceptualize what it truly would feel like to do
Yeah.
it. So then go do it or have it or get it
And try it.
and try it on and see, does it fit? Does it not? And if it does and it makes you feel good, then do it until it doesn't.
Right.
If it doesn't, then take all 3 options and file 13 them and move on and give it no further meaning.
Right. That's it's kind of a good analogy for me to make a better understanding of things, because we're like this is one thing that just popped in my head. A scenario is when we go shopping at Christmas time and we go to the mall, I have to have a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Because I go to the Starbucks because I enjoy that, because it brought back some happy times when the kids were young and
Yeah.
going to the mall and shopping, and
Right.
and I used to give my son a Starbucks, and he would go running around the mall like a crazy man during during the mall, and so it gives me a place to go to that it feels better,
That's right.
because I really don't enjoy shopping
So
that much.
that's a
And so-
technique. It's
Right.
a technique on pulling those memories of past events forward to find the feel better frequency and vibration
Yes.
of that memory.
Right.
And that's one of the techniques that you can use.
Agreed.
If there's a memory or something from the past that you can pull from to do that brings back the frequency of that moment in time, and it raises your vibration because it gives you feel good feelings, then do that.
Yeah, totally. And that's kind of where I was going with that is I do that kind of stuff, and I never identified it until you said something to me a couple of years ago. I didn't identify it as why I did it. And that's what we do naturally as humans, is we will go through these processes, and we'll actually jump into doing our processes and don't even realize we do it because it is a habit.
Right.
And when
You naturally will go towards the thing that feels better.
Right.
And I teach this in my energy class.
Yeah.
You know, there's different, I teach a class here where we're at about the energy, Chinese medicine, meridians, how to work with your energy, while you teach a class on how to work with the mind to have a whole complete being and experience. And so in the energy class, I teach that, I just lost my thought.
Well, that's okay, because I can tell you that what I was telling her was, and it'll come back in just a minute, is you're probably working the process and you're not identifying it because it's a habit. And our subconscious mind has a tendency to go to the path of least resistance and do what it knows.
Right. Yeah. So in the energy class, one of the big energy movers is taking your flat palm of your hand and putting it across your forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And that will help move a shit ton of energy when it is kind of stuck and representative by maybe like a little stale headache or some sinus stuff or, just feeling overwhelmed or whatever. Putting your hand there to move energy around.
Right.
And one of the things I'll bring to their awareness when I'm doing a class is how many times, now that you know that is what that is and that's what you're doing, how many times do you sit with your hand on your forehead when you don't quite feel right?
Yeah.
Be it stress, be it a head cold, be it just kind of energetically declined a little bit. I mean, we all do it naturally.
Yeah.
Even when you're talking about working with energy. So same premise. You're going to do things that feel good naturally. Correct. You just don't know you're doing them.
And it's going to be based off historical, what made you feel good previously in the same situation.
It can be, but it can also just be because it's ingrained in your overall blueprint.
I agree. And that's where we get into a habitual moment when the brain goes into that subconscious easy thought and goes from point A to point B. If you have done this energy session before and it made you feel better, and they're like putting your hand on your forehead, the brain's going to automatically take you there. So you teach yourself a habit, and that's what I told her is you have to teach yourself a new habit that creates a different environment, so you can free up the energy to identify the issues when you're struggling with identifying what's making you feel bad.
Right.
And she said, because a lot of people don't actually, let me back up, because a lot of people don't realize that the brain does that just like water or electric. And wow.
So he's got something wrong with his contact. And so he's Popeye-ing it right this minute with one eye closed. And he's got something in his eye. So he looks like Popeye right this minute and trying to focus. So let's talk about why we brought that into our reality, literally and symbolically. Is there something he's not seeing? Is there something that is challenging to look at for himself that the body is bringing up for him as a representation of something he needs to look at and is not looking at? Maybe you got to look at the symbology of it.
That did not feel good.
It didn't look like it felt good, but it was funny.
It was so weird. It was like suddenly something was in my eye.
Yeah. So, I mean, even that is communication from the body. Why did you create that? Something that you're ready to look at, but not allowing yourself to look at. Something that you're not seeing. Energy that's built up there. Maybe you need to do a little bit of energy work.
Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2.
Tell me which is better, 1 or 2?
1 or 2, probably.
It's annoying to go to the eye doctor and have them do that, especially when they do that little trick where they are exactly the same.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God,
look the same.
They look the same. Is that the wrong answer?
Oh my God, there's something wrong with me.
Is it supposed to look different? Oh my God, my eyes are broken. It's supposed to look different, and I'm going to give the wrong answer. And I'll just break down under the sweat, and I'll be like, listen, I don't know if I'm broken or not, but they look exactly the same. Did I get the answer right or wrong?
This is not a test.
That's what he said.
I'll be like, those look the same. Yeah. So I guess I flunked this test.
Right.
Well, anyway, so the communication kind of continues with ourselves as we identify the habits and we start doing those things, start doing the things that we have done historically, and changing the way. If we don't like the result of what we've done historically, then we have to look at the process by which we're doing it and identify a new way. You know, like you putting your hand on your forehead, that you're teaching people to work energy. I'm teaching people to identify thought differently. Mm-hmm. And when those two things come together, and when you get good and practiced at it, you can go right into auto mode.
Right. It takes no time.
Yeah.
No time at all. Time doesn't exist, actually. Rabbit hole.
Yeah.
We create the time through our definitions of what we think the amount of time it should take to do option A or option B or whatever.
The Englishman invented the clock, the time. I don't know why I wanted to say that.
Englishmen?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who are they?
You know, those people. You know those people.
Versus the Spanishmen?
I don't know who did. I just know the Mayans had a calendar. They didn't have a clock.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So time was actually created by kind of the all that is. Because without time, you can't really experience things linearly. And if we go into a reality where we know that everything is happening simultaneously, it takes away from the authenticity of experiencing one thing at a time.
Of the human experience.
On a timeline.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was actually created by the all that is for the purpose of having a very
human experience.
Linear experience.
Linear. Okay. That way you don't just randomly jump from dimension to dimension, and maybe you do.
Well, it's a different experience if you know that you can do that versus if you think you can't.
Right.
You're going to perceive it differently.
Fair enough.
And the outcome of the experience would be much different. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
You practice all the time aligning with the reality that you can change the red light at a snap of your fingers.
Yeah.
And you created the concept that I'm better at it than you are, and you continue to practice your magic, so to speak. And then the other day when you did it, you were pretty excited that you were like, oh my God, I finally did it. I finally did it. I finally did it. That felt good.
El Chango.
It was fun and it was exciting. But if you went into that knowing that you have the power to do that at any given time.
I've got the power.
And it doesn't have to take any time at all. When you did it, it would be like, oh, yeah, I know I can do that. So what's the big deal?
You know what's
You
funny?
wouldn't have gotten the same feeling or experience out of it.
Right.
It would have been a different experience.
Yeah, it was a good time. I did it twice, actually, in that day. It was pretty good. You know, everybody does that. And I don't think they realize they do it.
Do what?
When they're sitting at a stoplight, they're sitting there trying to energetically change it. Because they're tired of sitting at the stoplight already.
Yeah. Unless you're doing something else and
you're distracted.
Stopped is a convenience.
Yeah.
Like for me, if I am trying to do something and I need to not drive for a minute so I can get it done, like putting on mascara while you're driving.
Oh.
I knew I'd get somebody when I threw that out there.
You're going to get the whoopings.
Because the other day I saw a lady doing that while she was driving. I was like, wow. Anyway.
Haven't done that in a minute, huh?
Stop it. I haven't done that in a minute. Ever since I got my eyeliner tattooed on, and now I go and I have a lady put my little eyelashes on.
I remember when we first started dating, I would watch you drive off on your little Volkswagen Bug, doing your makeup, driving down the road.
Doing my eyeliner and my mascara.
When you were driving with your knee.
I'm talented. I'm a talented biatch.
That comes from smoking weed back in the day.
I wasn't a big weed smoker, actually. My body didn't resonate with it. Every time I try to smoke it, I like pass out and go into this realm of unaliveness. So I wasn't a big, That's happened to me
Yeah.
even from the first time I smoked it in school. I passed out, it stopped breathing, scared the shit out of my teacher. And then I did it a couple of other times.
That's how I learned to drive with my knee, so I could hold the pipe and the lighter at the same time while I was driving down the road.
No, literally, I learned to drive with my knee because I needed my hands to either like curl my hair. You remember when the curling irons were butane, cordless? That was such a new
Butane?
invention.
No, never.
Well, you don't curl your hair.
I didn't have that money. No, my hair is naturally curly.
Yeah, if you don't curl your hair, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
But
I definitely couldn't afford a cordless freaking hair.
Yeah, so
curler.
when they first came out, the cordless was not a thing. What they did is they came out with curling iron that ran on this little tank of like butane.
Like it had a burner in it?
Yeah, like somehow it ran off of like butane type product, and you put this little cartridge in it, and it would get hot. And it was cordless.
Huh,
it didn't have a cord. You didn't have to plug it in.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah, they may even still have them. I don't know. Nowadays, they have the rechargeable batteries and all of that are much safer.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine. I couldn't imagine.
So those of us that don't really live in the construct of time, or we create our own time, tend to be tagged as late all the time. And so to fit into...
No comment.
Everyone else's bubble of time watchers and time police, we find loopholes. So my loophole was to put my makeup on and do my hair in the car on the way to work. And so having a cordless hair iron and learning to put my eyeliner and my mascara on, I digress, in the car was quite convenient. So coming up to a red light, I could get a lot of shit done
you
at the red light.
Make it stay red.
Yeah, I was okay with it being red and sticking there for a minute because I was like, man, I can get this whole eye done if you'll just hang on one more second. And then the next time I can get the whole other eye done. And then I can curl my hair. And then I get to work and magically I'm all put together.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Fun times.
It was good times back in the day. So we still have good times every day.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So
just different kind of fun.
I think we covered that topic pretty good, but I think the thing that people need to realize is there is no set way of doing it.
No.
You just got to figure out what feels good next.
Yeah, and what's so surprising to me is that there's still, even though we keep repeating that and we keep teaching it, be it through the podcast or through seminars, there still is so many people out there that think that there's like this guru instructed set way of doing things to get you to a feel better place.
The magic cure.
Right. Here's the magic pill. Here, let me wave my magic wand, which I do have. Like there's some sort of magical recipe that we're all doing and it's not. I can't tell you how many techniques and tools and things that I have tried along my 30-year journey, and they change.
Yes.
Like for a few months, it's this particular stone.
Yeah.
But then it changes, and then it's smelling this particular herb, so I'll burn it.
My patchouli.
Yeah, you're a patchouli guy. He
I
really
like
resonates
patchouli.
with patchouli, so we run that often in the...
I do like the patchouli.
In the, what is it, little machine called?
Motor coach.
Diffuser.
Oh, the diffuser. Yeah.
Yeah, so we run a lot of patchouli through our life. It just doesn't, it varies.
Are you Blitzen?
No, I was just trying to decide what I wanted to say next. So the key is get out there, try stuff.
It's just, I think all you got to do is make yourself aware.
And if you're judging yourself through it, oh my God, if I carry around a big ball of quartz, people are going to think I'm weird. So what?
Says the person that carries around a big ball of quartz.
Who cares? Like, try it.
If it makes you feel better, I don't care what anybody else thinks.
That's right.
If it makes me feel better, I don't care what anybody thinks. Of course, I don't care what anybody thinks anyway. But
if it makes you feel better to wear big clown red shoes, then put them on.
Hey, that might be kind of fun.
Maybe.
I have to do that one day. Can I put it on a nose?
You can do whatever you want.
Can I make it where I push the nose and it
Why
goes,
do your eyes
ooga?
look so sleepy? Oh, because you had a stick in your eye.
Yeah, maybe.
You
I
had a
don't
sharp
know.
stick in your eye.
I'd rather do that than get a sharp stick in the eye. I don't know. But, so, you have anything else?
I have lots of stuff, but I don't know where we are on time. I
We're
could
getting to the
literally sit here and just conversate all day
Yeah.
with myself or others.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to talk about,
Well.
I will go there with you.
And that's a great prelude into.
Hand in hand, I will go there with you.
Of course. This is a great life.
Yeah.
It's a great way to live.
And there's no topic that's off limits.
Nope. Go ahead and leave
We
a comment, send us an
will
email,
talk
whatever.
We'll talk about anything.
We sure will. We will. If there is something you're stuck on, just send us a note or an email. Even leaving a comment on one of the podcasts or whatever.
Or Facebook or
Facebook,
whatever.
yeah. Check us out.
Because we have a Facebook thing too.
We do.
We?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
the
we're
Merc
on,
Centers.
on most all of the platforms.
Yeah, it's if you go to one platform and you type in at the Merc Centers, it'll link all of them together for you,
I see.
and then you can go see all of them. Or you can go to our website and click on the button at the bottom. We have the Instagram, X, and Facebook links at the bottom of the webpage.
Right.
And you also have a direct link to the podcast from the webpage, which is www.themerccenters.org. That's ThemercCenters.org.
Yeah, the thing to take away is that you are the most interesting thing. So explore yourself
Thank you.
and figure out. Get curious about yourself. Get
Yeah.
curious about your mind, your body, your soul, and see what that communication is.
Yeah.
Develop a line of communication with you and yourself and start to explore that
Totally.
and see what feels good. What permission slip do you need?
I need the one. I need the lottery one.
There's different ones out there.
Yeah, I'm playing.
And so just start trying them on to see what fits.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And then don't get stuck in the, okay, this one is what works. And
Yeah, definitely don't have expectations.
if it changes,
Yeah.
then go with something new.
Go in with intentions, not
I used
expectations.
to, because I get this a lot whenever I'm working with people. I used to do this, but it doesn't seem to be working anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because you're a whole new person every second of the day. So the person that it used to work for, you've evolved and you're not that person anymore. So go find what the next thing is.
Yep, we change, that's for sure.
That's the only thing you can depend on is that
I have no idea what dimension
everything
we're going to be in.
changes, including us.
Yep.
And that's been proven scientifically. You're a whole new person
Yep.
every so often. I mean, even your blood cells, they change out. 120 days in, you're getting a whole new lineup.
Oh, wow.
Skin cells. You slough off your skin cells. You
Yeah.
get a whole new lineup.
Yep, totally agree.
So you're a whole new person.
Yeah, anyway.
One second to another.
And stay real with it, man. Hey, thank you all for listening today. Did you have anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
That was it. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe. If you want to, share it with your friends. Hey, post that stuff all over Facebook, whatever it is you want to do. And don't forget to leave us a comment. You can leave it on at the Merc Centers or at the website, either one. And let us know if there's something you want to talk about. We will always do it.
For sure.
Hey, y'all have an awesome day.
Ring the bell.
Oh, yeah, we forgot the ring the bell part.
Ring that bell to get notifications when
That's
we've
right.
uploaded new information.
And now they have the new thing where you can actually pick if you want all of them subscribed or you get the notifications or just the new episodes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't forget to choose that. Otherwise, you'll get just the stuff when you're on the internet, when you're on the interwebs. You'll get a notification if you don't have them all clicked or the new ones clicked. It will not send you anything.
Oh, good to know.
All right. Y'all have an awesome day.
Love ya.